What is up, YouTubers? Johnsy here, and welcome back to another episode of Zawcasters. Now, before we get started, if you do hear a little something in the background, I do have my fan on, just to let you know. It's at the lowest setting, so hopefully you guys don't hear it, but I'm just giving you guys a warning just in case if you do actually hear it. So, yeah. I also do have my door open, so if I get interrupted, you'll hear dogs coming in. Oh, excuse me. I don't know where that cough came from. Alrighty. I do have a little bit of a story I want to talk about before we get into the main topic, which, as you guys can tell from the title, and I actually know because we're not doing it from the wheel today, it is my thoughts for September's Direct. Now, I know we recently had a regular Nintendo Direct, which, excuse me, which I know I probably made a video like a few weeks ago about it, even though at this point this is like, I think this is more closer to September, and I know I probably talked about the other one like, probably like a few weeks ago, but yeah, by the time I'm recording this is actually before Wave 5 of Mario Kart, by the way, which, yeah, I did get my predictions wrong. Apparently, the Wave 5's coming out on the 12th, which all you guys know by now. Sorry, I just had to suddenly really clear my throat for a minute there. But yeah, I do remember I mentioned, a few episodes ago, probably talking about Mario Kart in general, that I said that I was predicting I was going to come out on the 18th of July. Yeah, no, I was like 6 days off. Oh, jeez, what's with my voice today? Hang on, let me have some water for a second. It wasn't like this before we started recording. I don't know what happened. Okay, hopefully we're fine. But, before we get into the main topic, obviously there's another little small story. Now, this small little story hasn't happened, like, recently. This was actually, like, probably about maybe a year ago, maybe. But I just kind of thought of it today, and I was like, maybe I'll share it today anyways. So, basically, at work, it was before I even, like, fully started working at where I work now. I only worked there beforehand for, taking care of some containers that came in because they wanted an extra hand pretty much. So normally my mom would ask if 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 I would want to help out with the container or whatever. So I say yes. So, and like on those days she brings me into work with her, and I kind of help out with the container. And since I got nothing else to do pretty much for the rest of the day, since back then I didn't really have anything else to work on, like at all, she at least allowed me to drive, or she offered to drive partway back for me, just like partway back home for me, because she had to stop by an area anyways to do some stuff, so she would drop me off to where she would normally be, which is already somewhat on my way home, and normally it's around like my mall area where I normally go to anyways, which there's normally a direct bus back from there to home anyways. And basically, so she pretty much drops me off at the parking lot and all that. We say, see you later, or whatever. And as I'm getting onto the bus, I sat down and I realized that I didn't have my backpack on me. But since I was like going into work, obviously I brought in like a few items, and obviously they're in my bag, like little, like I think maybe a little lunch, and maybe like a game. I think I brought my Switch that day too. So I realized I didn't have it on me. I know I brought it in with me in the car at least, so if anything, I just forgot it was in the back seat, and it was just back there. And of course, by the time I was already on the bus, like, it's already too late for me to get off the bus, and even then, I'm pretty sure my mom already went back to work anyways, at that point. And so, yeah. I was sitting there like, I probably don't really need my bag, honestly. I mean, like, all I had in there was just a few small things, and my Switch, and yeah, I know it'll be painful not to play it until my mom gets home, but, you know, it's whatever. But then not until like I get very close to home, like maybe like a few minutes left until I actually get to my house, and I realize as well that my keys were in there too. My keys were in my bag. Normally, I know it's probably not the best idea to keep your keys in your bag, but yeah, that my keys were in my backpack, which luckily in that case it was in my mom's car, so they were still safe. Like all my belongings were still safe in a safe environment and everything. But by the time I get home and everything, like I can't get in the house because everyone's already gone for work. So the house is all locked up. I can't get in. So yeah, and there's no way for me to break in too. Like I mean, I know I've lived in this house for like years, but like I don't think I know a sneaky way in without like breaking in kind of thing. Plus, I don't want it to look suspicious anyways. Which I mean, I didn't really have to wait that long honestly, because my stepdad actually came back a half an hour after I got home, because he was on like he normally has like. Well, nowadays he has like 2 different work shifts, which he works like pretty much morning till the afternoon, pretty much. So he's pretty much gone already in the morning before we even wake up, to like 2:30, pretty much. Like in this case today, he actually should be back today, like in a half an hour. So I don't really have enough time to record this one episode, and then there's the other one where he leaves kind of like around the time I get back home, tentatively, until like way late during the evening, like around 10. So, luckily it was during that day one, and I was able to get back in the house within a half an hour. It was a little warm, but I was able to stay in the shade, and I think my dogs could tell I was outside too. It's like, why don't you come in? Come on in. It's like, I can't, I don't have my keys. They're in my bag, I forgot them. But yeah, that was just a weird little experience that I had like over a year ago. I just kind of had that in my thought process like this morning, and I was like, maybe I could talk about that during the podcast today, because I was planning on recording a podcast today, so, I guess another little thing as well, my route for walking home after I get off the bus, from home, or to get home, I had to change my route a little bit because they closed off one of the sidewalks. It's summer, so constructive season, and that's the season where they block off my path. Which, yeah, I mean, it's not too much of a detour, but the road I do have to cross now, it's quite busy, and I don't trust it as much. So hopefully the construction for where I normally walk by is done at least within a week. I luckily was able to avoid it today because I needed to get a new bus pass anyway, so I went all the way to the bus terminal. And luckily for the bus terminal, I can walk from there to home, so, But, yeah, anyways, small little things here and there. But anyways, into today's main topic, we are going to be talking about, something, like, a little bit of a topic for, September's Direct. By the time this comes out, it might be somewhat close. Well, if anything, it's definitely August for sure, so September is just around the corner, so I guess it's appropriate time for this to come out anyways. But, basically, I think this next Direct, because remember back in June's Direct, it was kind of more focused on Mario in that circumstance. Now, I think this would be a good opportunity to promote DK a lot, like Donkey Kong, pretty much, for this next Direct, for a few bit of reasons. And this will also go into my prediction a little bit into Mario Kart 8's characters a little bit, and why I think Diddy makes it in as well, and why this would be a perfect time to do it too. So, a good way to do, like for Mario Kart for instance, I've mentioned that I wanted Diddy in for a while now, and the thing is, we also don't have DK Mountain, so that would be a nice way to promote DK in one way, is to put in like Diddy and maybe Funky in as characters, and have DK Mountain as one of the tracks, or even maybe a new DK track in general, because they always like to introduce the tracks, especially with the new characters too. Like in Wave 4 we saw Yoshi's Island, which was a new track, and that's when they also introduced Birdo. And then for Wave 5 they did Squeaky Clean Sprints, which that introduced the other 3 characters, even though none of them have the theme of a bathroom, but I mean, for Birdo, it was technically like she's kind of like Yoshi's Valley, Yoshi's Island kind of thing, since she's I don't know really like our main boy Yoshi's like girlfriend or whatever, but I mean they're pretty similar and all that, so I just feel like for Wave 6 they could like, especially for like a Big Bang or whatever, they could add in like maybe Diddy and Funky maybe. Well, I mean they could not maybe add Funky, but maybe another character as well. I'm just thinking at least for Diddy, I think they could do that with the DK track for a trailer in there. And here's another reason why I think Diddy might have a good chance. And it's actually based on something that the Wave 5 trailer put up recently, like the full-on trailer. So basically, I'm going to show the picture right now. Sorry if that hurt your eardrums. But as you can see, here are the characters that are in so far. We have Birdo, PD Piranha, Wiggler, and Kamek. Now, as you can see, two of them are medium weights, and the other two are heavyweights. Now, none of them are lightweights, and with Diddy being a small character, I could see Diddy does seem like he has more of a chance now, especially since he's a light character to enter in. And I'm not really sure about Funky Kong, honestly, being light, but obviously there goes to my other prediction being Pauline. I feel like she could be a light character. I mean, I don't know what the other princesses are like in the game. I don't really focus really much on their weight class too much. But, but I mean, it is possible. They might add in two light characters to wrap it up. Especially, like, for a hype version for DK. Like, maybe. And another way to, like, hype DK up more even during that Direct, because especially since I know, like, probably around the September Direct, they're probably going to announce more for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like, the last wave of Booster Course, just because, it's close to the Christmas season anyways. Although I wouldn't expect them to show anything until, well, I mean, not a show, but, have it out by, November or something. Or maybe October, just for, the way they've been kind of speeding things up a little bit, because, yeah, I mean, they have been kind of speeding this stuff up a little bit, too, for Mario Kart, I just realized, because, I mean, I know, with Wave 4, it came out a little bit before, probably a week or two before, Wave 1 originally came out during that time of the year. And same with Wave 5 here, because I remember Wave 2 came out during August, and now we're getting Wave 5 at, on the 12th. So, it's possible that it might come out, late October, maybe? I don't know when Wave 3 came out exactly, but, it's possible, it's possible. And maybe, they might have their September Direct maybe near the end of the month, maybe? I mean, it's a possibility. I'm just kind of thinking logically here. And then also for that Direct, maybe they can introduce a brand new Donkey Kong game. Because, let's be honest as well, we have not had a new Donkey Kong game since Tropical Freeze, which I think that's almost the same age as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the original. And the only, newer version of Tropical Freeze was released, it was poured over to the Switch back in 2017 as well, so, yeah. Another reason why I also don't think Funky Kong could enter in, I mean, it's a possibility, but, I don't know, it's just more of that, it's been noted that Funky Kong's more of a side character, he's not really much into the fighting or competition kind of style, so that's kind of also another reason why. Oh, actually, I know fans might be more upset, but this kind of goes back to my lightweight theory. Because, and my, DK themes, theory for Mario Kart. Dixie Kong is technically a character as well from Mario Kart as well. I mean, Dixie Kong's entered into Tour, pretty much. But, it's already been noted that Tour characters can enter in, like Kamek. Kamek, his first appearance was in Tour, and now he's in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So it could be the same for maybe, for Dixie Kong, too. And But the fact that Dixie Kong and Diddy Kong are like the same like size technically, they could both be lightweights. That actually might be a better theory, honestly. Now I know that pretty hard for people to hear, especially since a lot of people would love Funky Kong, and I will admit Funky Kong is more of the popular character that people want in Mario Kart. But I'm just thinking because I think Dixie Kong will definitely be a big surprise as well, like for everybody, because everyone's thinking like it's gonna be like maybe Diddy and Funky as well. Like obviously if Funky is getting in, like they think it's gonna be Funky over Dixie, but I feel like Dixie would pull past thanks to my little theory. So you know, and kind of going back to the main Donkey Kong kind of game, like yeah, we never really had a new Donkey Kong game for like a whole decade. Like even like the country kind of form. Like what are they really working with Donkey Kong right now? Like we haven't heard anything in years. Like honestly, every time a new direct has happened lately, I'm always predicting that they're gonna put out something DK related. Like something DK related. And it still hasn't happened yet, so like, what the heck? I mean, obviously, in my case, I have always wanted, like, a DK64 remake or, like, something relating to DK64 to come back out at some point. Even though it's DK64, I will admit, it isn't really the best game out there, and, well, let's be honest, it is a shitty game, but it's definitely something that I remember and am more nostalgic with. And it's simply a fun kind of, like, bad game. It's not, like, a horrible, horrible game that people, like, absolutely despise, but, like, it's kind of like a bad game that's fun to play still. And especially like with some collective, I guess like especially with some games going open world lately. I mean, we have like The Legends of Zelda, like you have Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom that literally came out not that long ago. You have Sonic Frontiers, which became an open world game. Kirby, I mean, it's not really much of an open world game, but like it's still like a 3D one as well that happened like last year. So, you know, I mean, a lot are going like more 3D style, and maybe they're like working on something big for Donkey Kong. Like I can expect something big, and maybe also during the direct, maybe they'll announce like the DK movie, because I'm pretty sure it was already announced at some point, well, or at least notified that Donkey Kong is going to get his own movie sometime, obviously starring Seth Rogen. But, you know, it is possible. And I'll get to see my boy Diddy back on the big screen. That was the one thing I definitely liked about the Mario movie, that Diddy had a nice little cameo in the Mario movie as well. Like, it wasn't just DK and Cranky. Like, Diddy had a bit of appearance. And also, like, Dixie and Chunky. Chunky was in there, too, which is very surprising. Especially since Chunky Kong is like the one character that hasn't really even appeared in anything else like that much. Like, I think he's appeared in 3 other kind of things besides DK64. Like, I think there was another game that I don't know what it is, but I think he's at least appeared in it. I know he's appeared in Smash Bros. Ultimate as a spirit, and now we have the Mario movie where he's also appeared as well, so yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it is possible for a big DK, like, kind of direct kind of happening. Kind of like how we had for Mario for this last one, because we had the remake of Super Mario RPG, we have Super Mario Wonder, and then we have Mario Kart as well. We also have Luigi's Mansion Dark Pictures. I don't know what that one's called, but that's getting ported over, and Peach is getting a new game in general, too, so, you know, a lot of stuff Mario-related that came in last Direct, so maybe this one could be like a Donkey Kong theme. Like, really, we need some love for the Donkey Kong family in general, because, like, we haven't really gotten anything related in that circumstance in a while. Like, the only thing probably, like, relatable is, like, you know, Donkey Kong appearing in games, and maybe even Diddy Kong, like, being added into the game later. Like, I know in Strikers Battle League, he was added in later on during an update, and then that's when I decided to actually buy Strikers. And then there's stuff like Mario Tennis, Super Mario Party. Well, Diddy Kong was already added in, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I mean, you never know. But going back to my Mario Kart idea, technically for Diddy and Dixie, that might be a possibility. Honestly, I just feel like they gotta go with something big at the end, right? Like for Mario Kart 8, I like how I'm more talking about the Mario Kart 8 theory than the main like Donkey Kong franchise. But I just feel like it would make sense for them to do this. Like obviously, if they want to do something like bring in more DK characters at the end, and if they are gonna bring in two, I feel like it would be Diddy because obviously you can't have Donkey Kong and then not have Diddy as well and like have a different Kong as well. Like it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right in general. And then Dixie Kong as well to just be a big surprise in general to everyone. Like everyone would probably think it'd be like Pauline or Funky Kong, like I was thinking earlier as well. But Dixie Kong would be a nice big surprise, and she's technically a character in Mario Kart as well. We have her in Tour, so. I mean, it is possible. It is possible indeed. And, like I said, going back to my lightweight class theory, since we already have two DLC characters that are, like, mid-weights, and two that are heavyweights, two more lightweights would even it out, too. It just makes the most sense to me. I'm making the prediction right now, the last two characters, I think, in general, are going to be Diddy and Dixie. I just have a good feeling on it. Which I wouldn't mind Dixie gone either. I mean, Dixie is a pretty unique character. Plus, I never actually got to play Dixie in a Mario Kart game since, well, I don't really play Tour. I did for a little while, but I don't know. The thing is, it's not really easy to buy characters too, and the fact that you have to really put like money into it to buy like certain characters that you want and all that, like there's also like different cosmetics and everything too. It's just Plus the controls are weird on a touchscreen. Like I don't know if it's more better on an iPad or a phone. I did try it on my iPad and obviously I don't know, it just didn't really feel right, so you know. I mean, hell, you never know. Like, they could have DK Mountain and a new Donkey Kong track as well for Wave 6. You never know. You never know. I think it would be pretty amazing, and that would be a nice little ending to the wave that I would like. I mean, especially with Diddy being, like, a popular DK character as well. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people still want Diddy Kong, even though Funky Kong might be more the popular character they add in, but, you know, you can't have like Donkey Kong enter a game and not have Diddy Kong as well. Well, I mean, in some cases, but I mean, you can't have Donkey Kong and then another random Kong that isn't Diddy. Like those two are the duo. You can't have one Kong without the other, you know. But yeah, that's just my thought with Mario Kart in general. But you know, but with I mean, I don't know. The next Direct could be a nice little DK Direct, honestly. I can see it happening, especially like for a big new DK game as well. Like those would be like the two big announcements. Like the thing is, obviously, like Mario had like a few more announcements too. Like in the last one, like obviously there was Mario Kart, the two other Mario games, Peach and Luigi's game. So they technically had like 5 announcements for them. This one, technically, I'm only thinking like 3, but they're pretty big DK news. Like, obviously, them being added into, or Diddy and Dixie being added to Mario Kart 8, a brand new DK game in general, and the announcement of the DK movie. Like, it would just make sense. It would make sense, and it would be amazing, and I would love that Direct. Like, I haven't really played really much of the Donkey Kong Country games in general, but still, I mean, I still love the Kongs. Like, if anything, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, either on my main channel or challenge channel, or even on this channel in general, but monkeys, they're like my favorite animal, honestly. Well, apes in general, I guess. I shouldn't just call them monkeys. Like, not all of them are just monkeys. If anything, the only monkey-looking one out of them that is, like, Diddy Kong, which is also my favorite Kong. So but monkeys are literally like my favorite animal of all time. Like they're like my more like favorite existing animal. My favorite pet is a dog, and which I have too. And I think my fictional favorite animal would be a dragon. I think that like those are practically like my favorite kind of animals, honestly. Now I know in some like places like monkeys can be pets, but obviously in my area we don't have monkeys as pets, so obviously I'm not putting them in the pet list. Plus I think dogs are more viable as pets anyways. I mean, you never know when freaking monkeys could just steal your shit. Or like maybe like grab your keys and put it somewhere else. And be like, where's my keys? He's like, oh, I don't know, I hid him somewhere. Why'd you hide him somewhere? Oh, I just don't want you to leave me alone here. It's like, I'll be gone for like 5 minutes. But I just think it would be a nice, fun direct, especially since Donkey Kong hasn't gotten really much love lately at all. Like, let's be honest, Donkey Kong really hasn't gotten that much love since, like, the Mario movie. Like, the Mario movie is technically the only kind of love that Donkey Kong has ever really gotten lately, in general. I mean, obviously he does appear in Mario spin-offs still and everything, like, almost every single one. But, like, we don't have, like, a bunch of other Mario, or DK characters entering in either. And for the fact that we don't have, like, a mainline DK game in general, like, come on. Especially since they haven't done anything with DK for, like, over a decade. Like, honestly, I'm just expecting any new DK game to come out, or, like, a very big DK game to come out at some point. Like, if they're waiting this long to announce something for DK, it's gotta be big. And what's also pretty big? DK64. Because, a little note also, like, one of the things that people do not like about the game is the amount of stuff you do have to collect. Like, there's a whole lot to collect in that game, which, honestly, in my opinion, I actually don't mind the collecting as much. I think it's pretty fun, just kind of, like, going around, collecting every little thing around. I just kind of enjoy it, honestly. I know there's, like, a lot, but still. I mean, hey, I've 100%ed the game, like, multiple times, even at some points where it's, like, almost impossible at some points, which, obviously, I know at that point, like, those impossible moments make me feel very pissed off at the game and make me hate it, but, like, still. For some of them, I actually got used to them pretty well and can kind of breeze by them somewhat okay. Like, it only takes me a few tries here and then in that game. I think the only one I had problems with still is, like, the rabbit race. I think that one's probably the hardest one to complete in the entire game, honestly. Just to get one of the last golden bananas, which is quite annoying, but, But hell, they can make it, like, easier of a collectathon or whatever. Like, you don't have to collect as much stuff, like, more open worlds or whatever. Like, that would be something I would enjoy a lot, but, you never know. I mean, that game's been out for, like 24 years? At least close to 24. I know it came out in, like, 1999, literally the year before I was born, so, I mean, it is possible that they could bring out a new kind of game like that, like, or at least something close to DK64. It is possible for them to do that, because they did technically remake Pokemon Snap. I mean, they have new Pokemon Snap out on the Switch now already, and the last one that came out for Pokemon Snap, besides the new one, was back in the Nintendo 64 era, so, it is possible. But, who knows. I just hope we get something new DK related, at least for this next Direct coming up, which I don't know exactly when this video is coming out, but if anything, I at least expect this to come out sometime in August. Maybe late August, so it could be close to the September Direct. I don't know when that is exactly. Could be late September, could be early. I don't know. I mean, I do remember there was one September Direct on the 9th, so, you never know. We'll see. But anyways, I guess that's gonna be it for now. That's pretty much just my thoughts in general of what the next Direct could be. I'm not really putting out any other predictions for any other kinds of games, honestly. There's really like no other game I'm really like hoping for, honestly, right now. So, especially since Sonic came out like last year, and we recently just got the new Pokemon stuff as well for like updates as well. So, you know. Anyways, that's going to cut it for this video. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. If you guys liked it, press the like button or subscribe to whatever. Make sure to check out my main channel and challenge channel down in the description below. And I'll see you dudes in the next video and or podcast. See you dudes next time.